how more is Maruti as a brand also willing to change? What is the future looking like? And when you talk of what's going on today, you have automatic transmissions, we are talking of hybrid, we are talking of EVs. What, according to you, Shashank, say is the road ahead for the next 5 years for both India and Bharat? I mean, do you see them merging anywhere on this road?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, if I think most of people would know here, there's a lot of urbanization that's happening, and that's also changing the landscape. It is said that the ratio of urban to rural incomes, which is currently 1.8, will become 1.4 in a few years' time. We also see larger connectivity coming through. So there is a development of good infrastructure, physical as well as digital in our country, not only in urban areas, but in rural areas as well. That is why the rural sales now in the industry, roughly 35%. For Maruti Suzuki, almost 44%. So there is a huge change, and there is a convergence which is happening. And therefore, it is becoming very important to identify what will be that final convergence be. I'll give you an example. You mentioned automatic transmission. You mentioned probably connectivity is even more important. So you have now technologies whereby you have connected cars required for both navigation, even for entertainment. People are using connected cars because you are spending more time in the cars now. So all these things means that we will have to continue to evolve and embrace that technology, not just for production or design or quality, we do that, but also for customer interaction. Customer himself is now changing in terms of how he buys car. He makes payments through cars. He need not visit the showroom at all. So end to end, he can buy the car without even visiting the showroom, something which was not thought of or imagined a few years back.
What about the SUV segment? Because, even on roads, if you just look around, there are only SUVs now. What's happening to hatchback? What's happening to the older versions of the cars? You believe this is also, a testimony to the fact that we are changing and the popular sentiment is also changing?
Yeah, sure thing. One of the things which have changed is the preference for body types. So the body type of SUV is much more preferred these days. In fact, for this year, I just mentioned 4.2 million will be the sale in the passenger vehicles, out of which 50%, that is more than 2 million, will be SUVs. And people buy it for different reasons. It's practical, it's got a higher ground clearance. In Indian roads, it's definitely better. You have interior space which is more flexible because of the shape. It's not a 3-box like a sedan. It's got a good driving position. You feel you are owning the road and you are like having some sort of a status. People buy it for status as well. So SUVs have become very popular. That is one type of change. There is a change in terms of the powertrain. People are looking at more sustainability, for example. So if you see, and governments too. Governments are also making emission standards more strict. Therefore, you have EVs, you have hybrids, you have CNG. Those powertrain choices are also changing. There is a change in if you speak demographically, there are more women buyers. The average age of car buying has come down. So all these factors are happening simultaneously. And a marketer has to make sense of all those changes and accordingly position his products and his brand in the market.
Interesting. Now, because you've poked me and you've spoken about women, I wonder whether the, women present in the hall how many women would still want a Maruti, That's also, I think, because when I was picking up my first car, I discussed with my friends and a lot of other people. And everyone is like, for girls, though, it has to be Maruti because that is the safest car on road. Now, over the years, because you see that pattern also changing with the market also opening up, automatic transmission.